This year's number 1 overall pick battled against this year's number 2 and 3 overall picks. Which team left with a sweet victory, and which team left with a sour loss? In the Battle of New York, did the Jets come home with a nice treat, or did the Giants trick them into giving them their first victory of the year? And the undefeated Bengals battled against a skidding San Francisco 49ers team. Which team left with a king-size full bar, and which team left with just a little fun-size package? All this and more coming up here on Tecmo Rewind. Happy Halloween, everyone, and welcome to Tecmo Rewind for Week 8. It has been quite a season so far, and let me tell you, there are some interesting battles brewing all over the league. There is no team in the league that has more than really a 2-game lead over anybody else. It is still up in the air for each division. And of course, even the stragglers in some divisions, they're still competing at the very least for a wild card spot, if not trying to go for the entire division. But we'll see how that goes as the next few weeks come by. We're almost at the halfway mark, but we have to look at what's going on with this week. We'll start with something real scary. 2 last-place teams in their division, the Saints and Colts, battling each other. First quarter, Minshew play action roll to his right. You think he's going to throw, but he saw how that went last week. Instead, he's going to fumble it, but he fumbles it out of bounds safely. A couple plays later, Minshew tries throwing for Alec Pierce. Instead, he finds Tyrann Mathieu, who picks him off and breaks a couple tackles before taking it to about midfield. Fortunately, Saints have to punt it, but the Colts would punt right back. On the next drive for the Saints, Alvin Kamara fumbles the ball. It's DeForest Buckner who picks this up. Buckner gonna dodge one tackle and break another, but he's not quite able to get to the end zone. It does make it a first and goal situation. A couple plays later, Minshew hands it off to Zach Moss. Moss going to take it in for a touchdown. It's 7-0. Colts get on the board first. On the ensuing drive for the Saints, Carr going to get taken down by DeForest Buckner in the backfield. But they do drive down in the field a couple more plays, and Chris Olave will take this diving catch for a touchdown. It's tied up at 7. On the ensuing kickoff return, Flowers is going to take this one to about the 25.5. Unfortunately, he is now hurt as a result, so that means Deion Jackson is going to have to come in on both kick returns and punt returns. A couple plays later, Minshew going to roll on forward. Tries to get to the line of scrimmage, but Marshawn Lattimore finally finds him and takes him down. A couple plays after that, they drive down the field, but Minshew gets sacked by Cameron Jordan this time. Very next play, Minshew barely gets it off, throws for Mo Alley Cox. Cox going to score this one as a touchdown. It's 14-7 Indianapolis. On the ensuing Saints drive, Carr barely avoids getting sacked in the end zone. A throw that was meant for Thomas instead gets picked off by Blackman. On the ensuing drive for the Colts, this throw for Michael Pittman Jr. instead gets picked off by Marshawn Lattimore, so the Saints get another chance with it. Carr gets completely surrounded by the defense, and Buckner is able to get credit for the sack. Next play, Samson Ebukam takes him down, and now he is injured. Derek Carr, who they got in the offseason, will be out for the rest of the game. Who knows how long after that? So that means it is Jameis Winston who has to come in. A couple plays later, Winston sacked by Samson Ebukam. Next play after that, 2nd and 16. Winston tries to run forward. Unfortunately, not able to get anywhere, and Zaire Franklin gets a sack on him. Very next play after that, Winston gets taken out by Grover Stewart, so they're forced to punt. 3 straight plays that are all sacks. Minshew going to play action roll to his right, and this time he will throw for Michael Pittman Jr., who's wide open, makes it 21-7 at halftime. Third quarter, Blake Grupe going to kick this one in, make it 21-10. Colts still have the lead. On the ensuing kick return, Deion Jackson, he is going to take this one practically out of the end zone and get to the 37. A couple plays later, after driving down the field, Minshew going to hand it off to Zach Moss. He will get the first down, but unfortunately, he will be hurt. So now Deion Jackson has more work to do. Not only will he be doing kick returns and punt returns, he's also going to be doing the actual running back work. A couple plays later, Minshew going to play action roll to his right. and this time he's going to run with it himself, fumbles it. This time it doesn't go out of bounds. Marshawn Lattimore picks up the fumble and breaks a tackle before finally getting taken down. Saints drive down the field. Winston drops back, throws for Chris Olave, who is able to avoid some tackles and score to make it 21-17. It's a one-score game, and it's still an actual game. Minshew going to play action. No, he's going to hand it off to Deion Jackson himself. My apologies. Jackson going to get the first down, dodges 3 straight tackles, and he will go into the 1-yard line. So not a score. That's all right. He'll punch it in a couple plays later for the touchdown, 28-17. Ensuing Saints drive. Winston throws for Chris Olave, who jumps up to get this one. He is wide open, avoids 3 blue jerseys that were looking for him before finally getting taken down into mid-Colts territory. Then Winston gonna throw for Chris Olave again, and this time Olave not going to be denied. This makes it 28-24 Colts. Saints still trying to keep within the lead. Throw for Michael Pittman Jr. gets picked off by May. So the Saints get the ball back. Winston going to try and run forward, but Samson Ebicom stops him before he can get the line of scrimmage. A couple plays later, Winston gets wrapped up before he's finally taken down. It's Samson Ebicom who gets credited with the sack, so they're forced to punt. The Colts go for the 3 points to try and put them up. They get it. It's 31-24. They're up by 7. This throw for Alvin Kamara does get it, and it will be considered a first down on a 4th down conversion. Alvin Kamara going to take this one to about the 20, so they're pushing down the field still. Winston going to try and throw for Chris Olave. Olave is going to get the first down into Colts territory, so they still have some time. Winston looking and throws for Johnson. It's incomplete, so it's 2nd down. They're running out of time. Winston going to hand this one off to Alvin Kamara. Kamara going to get stopped, so they have time for maybe 2 more plays. This throw for Johnson gets a first down, but they have time for 1 more play with 1 second left. Winston needs a miracle. He's going to hand it off to Alvin Kamara. Kamara going to score, so it's tied up at 31 if Blake Grupe's kick can go through, which it does. We're going into overtime in a battle between 2, 1, and 5 teams here. In overtime, the Saints going to call for tails. Unfortunately for them, it is heads, so the Colts will elect to return. On the drive for the Colts, Deion Jackson. First play of overtime. He is going to take this one to about midfield before he's finally stopped by the Saints defense. First play, Minshew play action rolls to his right. It's Marshawn Lattimore there to stop him. 2nd and 21. Man in motion. Minshew going to hand this off to Deion Jackson. Jackson going to get stopped short of where the original drive started. But that's all right, because Minshew going to play action roll to his right. Who's he looking for? Michael Pittman Jr.? Pittman Jr. is going to get stopped of making this a 6-point victory. But that's all right, because they just need Matt Gay's leg. Kick on the way. It is good in a thrilling almost comeback. 34-31. Colts get the victory. The Saints will drop to 1-6. They take on Chicago next week. The Colts, meanwhile, go to 2-4 in a very close race in the AFC South. They head to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Speaking of the Panthers, they were hosting the Houston Texans this week. First quarter, number 1 overall pick Bryce Young gets wrapped up and taken down by Jonathan Greenard. Next play, Miles Sanders going to barely get any room, and he is going to be down. So that means that Chuba Hubbard is going to have to replace him at running back for the time being. On the ensuing drive for the Panthers after this one ended, DJ Chark going to take this one into the red zone. Unfortunately, Panthers can't quite do anything with it, so they have to rely on Eddie Piñeiro's leg. Piñeiro doinks it off the left upright. It's 3-0. Panthers score first. On the ensuing Texans drive, number 2 overall pick, C.J. Stroud throws for what was supposed to be Dameon Pierce. Instead, he finds that he threw it to J.C. Horn. But the Panthers can't quite do anything with it on offense yet again, so Eddie Piñeiro dinks it off the right upright this time. 6-0 Panthers. Stroud on the ensuing drive gets wrapped up and taken down by Shy Tuttle. And then, a couple plays after that, this throw for Nico Collins. Well, it was supposed to be Nico Collins. Instead, he goes to Xavier Woods, who's going to send it back to about the 30 of the Panthers. Young going to throw for DJ Chark, and Chark going to jump up to dodge the tackle, gets the touchdown, 13-0 Panthers. Second quarter, Stroud, he throws for Nico Collins again. This time it connects, and Collins wide open, no one anywhere close to him. He dodges a tackle that's nearly late, so that makes it 13-7. Panthers forced a punt, and Stroud gets strip sacked, picked up by Derek Brown. He's finally stopped by Stroud before he can begin a scoop and score. Unfortunately, Panthers offense can't quite score with it, so it's 16-7 Panthers. Stroud going to get wrapped up and taken down by Derek Brown. Dove for him. Then Young gets taken down by Jonathan Greenard. Last play of the second half, Young going to throw for Chuba Hubbard. Instead, he finds Peter of the Texans. Third quarter, handoff to Dameon Pierce is going to be a punch-in for the Texans, makes it 16-14. On the ensuing drive for the Panthers, DJ Chark going to take this one. He's wide open. Can he? Could he? Will he? No. He dodged one tackle, but somebody else was there to take him down. That's all right, says Young. I'll just throw for veteran receiver Adam Thielen. Makes it 23-14. Panthers have a 9-point lead. Stroud, looking for an open man, throws for Dalton Schultz. Schultz, wide open. He is taken down and fumbles the ball. It's picked up by Xavier Woods. Woods, what a defensive player he has been this year for the Panthers. And now he's going to take this one all the way to into the red zone in Texans territory. A couple plays later, Young going to throw for Mingo. Jonathan Mingo gets the touchdown in the back of the end zone, 30-14. Stroud would get wrapped up and taken down by Shy Tuttle, but that's all right because he can try again. Fortunately, Derek Brown there to stop him. They keep on trying to drive. This time, Stroud going to get taken down by Frankie Louvu, so they're forced to punt, unfortunately. Bryce Young in the fourth quarter tries to run forward. Jonathan Greenard there to stop him and take him down. That's all right. He's just going to toss this one to Chuba Hubbard, who has no one really that close to him. He gets the touchdown, 37-14 Panthers. And off for Dameon Pierce, who was supposed to be on fourth down, unfortunately not able to convert. The Texans get another chance with it, but Shy Tuttle takes down C.J. Stroud. This is a fourth down and long chance. Derek Brown takes down C.J. Stroud for the sack. And the Panthers are just going to add more pain onto the Texans' day. They're going to make the Texans real sour. With a touchdown by Chuba Hubbard, makes it 44-14. This pass that gets deflected was on fourth down, so it's another turnover on downs thanks to the Texans. Hubbard gets tackled and fumbled. It's Will Anderson, the number 3 overall pick, who picks it up. Unfortunately, time is up. 44-14. Panthers with a massive victory. They improved to 5-1 and a chance to still lead the NFC South. They take on the Colts next week, like we said. The Texans dropped to 2-4, and they get to head to Jacksonville next week to take on the Jaguars like they were supposed to do in Week 3. Now to our game of the week. The Vikings heading east to take on the Packers. First quarter, Alexander Madison going to punch it in for a touchdown, makes it 7-0 Vikings. On the first drive for the Packers, Aaron Jones gets hurt. That's a nasty trick for Green Bay, so that means they have to bring in the rookie Emmanuel Wilson to replace him at second running back. A couple plays later, Love going to run forward and throw for Romeo Doubs. Doubs wide open. Can he? Could he? Will he? He will be denied. It'll be a stop short of the one, at the one. That's all right. Emmanuel Wilson punches in, ties the game up at 7. The entire defense swarms on to Cousins. Kenny Clark takes him down. They're forced to punt, but Harrison Phillips and the Vikings defense will do the same. Packers would drive down the field. Anders Carlson boots it in to make it a 10-7 Packers lead. On the ensuing drive for the Vikings to start the second quarter, Cousins gets taken down by Kenny Clark again, so they're forced to punt. Packers will drive down the field, and A.J. Dillon going to punch it in himself. Makes it 17-7 Packers. On the ensuing drive for the Vikings, Cousins patiently waits before throwing for Justin Jefferson. Only has one man he really has to beat in the deep, and he gets the touchdown, makes it 17-14. A couple plays later, Love gets wrapped up and taken down by Khyiris Tonga, so they're forced to punt. Powell going to take this one to about the 28 before he fumbles the ball, and it gets picked up by Elgton Jenkins. Jenkins, the lineman, going to run it in for a touchdown, makes it 24-14. Third quarter, Love going to throw for Luke Musgrave over the middle. Musgrave dodges and weaves, zigs and zags, does a bunch of jukes, gets the touchdown, makes it 31-14 Packers. Greg Joseph Going to try and give some points to the Vikings that they desperately need, but it's blocked and it gets picked up by Rudy Ford. Rudy Ford takes it back pretty decently. A couple plays later, Love going to throw for Luke Musgrave. Unfortunately, he throws it and finds Bynum. So thanks to Cameron Bynum's interception, the Vikings had a chance. Unfortunately, they were forced to punt, and Anders Carlson boots it in for a 34-14 lead. Thankfully, the Vikings would get a touchdown thanks to Jordan Addison, but they'd get another chance when Evans gets the pick here, Caleb Evans, the corner. Alexander Madison going to try and run it in himself, but unfortunately he will fumble the ball, and it is TJ Slayton who picks it up for the Packers. Love going to hand it off to A.J. Dillon, but he'll fumble the ball. Vikings will recover with Byron Murphy, but it does not matter. The Packers, a massive statement victory over the Vikings. 34-21 is their score. They will take on the Rams next week and go to 5-1. Vikings drop to 4-3, and next week they head to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. So the Vikings are struggling, and so are the Seattle Seahawks. They were hosting the Cleveland Browns this week. Zach Charbonnet comes back for Seattle. They might need him first quarter. Geno Smith looks and throws for DK Metcalf. Nearly gets deflected, but Metcalf dives for the touchdown. 7-0 Seattle takes the lead. Browns on their ensuing drive down the field. Hand off to Nick Chubb, who finds an open hole. Chubb, the best weapon the Browns have on offense. So it's a tie game at 7. Ensuing drive for the Seahawks. Smith gets wrapped up, trying to stay to his feet. He gets it off just in time for DK Metcalf, who is wide open. No one anywhere even close to him. 14-7, Seahawks get the lead back. On the ensuing drive for the Browns, Watson going to play action and roll to his left. Throws for Amari Cooper, who gets the touchdown. Ties this game up at 14. Ensuing drive for the Seahawks, Smith going to run forward himself. This time he is taken down. It's by Juan Thornhill. A couple plays later, Smith going to throw for Tyler Lockett, who is wide open. Touchdown makes it 21-14 Seattle. On the ensuing drive for the Browns in the second quarter, Watson going to throw for Amari Cooper again, and Cooper going to get the first down and more as he gets in the Seattle territory, but he fumbles the ball, and it's picked up by Trey Brown of the Seahawks. So Seattle gets a chance to try and do something with it. Unfortunately, they can't quite. Donovan Peoples-Jones gets the punt return. Unfortunately, he is injured as a result. So that means for kick and punt returns, the Browns going to rely on Elijah Moore instead. On the drive, Watson going to try and run forward. He gets it off to Moore, and Moore is going to take this one into the red zone for the Seahawks and maybe a little further, not quite enough to get the score. So a couple plays later, Watson going to hand it off. No, play action, roll to his left, and who's he looking for? Amari Cooper in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown makes it a 21 all game. Soon Seahawks drive, Smith going to get wrapped up and taken down by Myles Garrett, the bane of QBs that face him. Smith, however, a couple plays later, would get a throw off to Tyler Lockett, who is wide open. Lockett going to take this one into Cleveland territory for the first down and more. A couple plays later, the Seahawks keep driving. DK Metcalf going to get the touchdown in the corner of the end zone, makes it 28-21. However, the Browns, on the ensuing kickoff, it is Ford who gets the return, and unfortunately, he is hurt. Jerome Ford has to be taken out of the game, so that means for kick and punt returns, now it is up to Pierre Strong Jr. to do the work. On the ensuing drive, play action by the Browns. Watson rolls to his left, throws for Amari Cooper, who dives in the end zone, ties this game up at 28. Third quarter, Watson throws for David Njoku over the middle, who gets a touchdown, makes it 35-28. Walker going to run it in himself, however, on the Seahawks drive, ties up at 35. After a couple punts, Nick Chubb going to run it in to make it a 42-35 game. This is a shootout now by both offenses. Smith going to get wrapped up and taken down by Tomlinson, so the Seahawks are forced to punt. Fourth quarter, Watson play action, but the Seahawks were waiting for him. Rick Woolen gets the sack. Fourth down Seahawks. Smith in shotgun formation, has to get it off to somebody. He's running out of time. Barely gets it off in time. Throws to his left for DK Metcalf, who's wide open. Beats the last man he needs to, and gets the score to tie this game up at 42. The The Browns would drive down the field. Watson going to toss it for Nick Chubb, who punches it in to make it 49-42. Seahawks need something. Smith throws for Metcalf again. Metcalf is wide open. He gets into Cleveland territory and then some as he gets to the red zone before he's finally stopped by the Browns defense. A couple plays later, Smith going to throw for Metcalf in the end zone again. This game is tied up at 49. So the Browns have to take the lead before they get to overtime. Handoff to Nick Chubb. Doesn't quite go where they want to. Throw for Amari Cooper. Is a first down, but they got less than a minute to go. First and 10. Man in motion. Toss for Nick Chubb. Chubb gonna run it and get short of the first down, so it's 2nd and 2. They got 28 seconds. Watson going to get wrapped up and taken down by Boye Mafe. So they have maybe 1 or 2 more chances. Watson gonna run with himself, and they are going to run out of time in regulation, so we have to go to overtime for this one. Brown's going to call it heads in the air. They get the call. They're going to obviously elect to return the ball. First play of the drive. Watson throws for Moore. Moore going to get the first down and then some as he gets into Cleveland territory. So Watson on the very next play action roll to his left, and Amari Cooper, he's going to make this a walk-off touchdown, 55-49. Cleveland wins in a close one. They go to 5-1 and take on Arizona next week. They could take the lead depending on how things go later on. Seattle drops to 3-3, and they have to head to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Another battle for possible playoff implications. Tyler Algier returns for the Falcons as they take on the Tennessee Titans. First quarter, Tannehill, play action, roll to his right. He's going to throw for DeAndre Hopkins, the former Cardinal, who gets the touchdown, makes it 7-0. Falcons would drive down the field, and Younghoe Koo boots it in to make it 7-3. On the next drive for the Falcons, because the Titans were forced to punt, Tyler Algier going to get the handoff, gets the first down and more. He fumbles the ball and right into the arms of Harold Landry. Landry going to take it back to what was the first down marker. Titans would be forced to punt. However, Azeez Al-Shaair can make life not so fun for Desmond Ridder. That means they have to rely on Younghoe Koo's leg again. 7-6. Titans still have a 1-point lead. Tannehill going to run forward, tries to get it off in time. Unfortunately, David Onyemata takes him down before he can. A couple plays later, Tannehill tries it again, but Dupree gets the sack this time. So they drive down the field a little bit more, have to rely on Nick Folk's leg, and he boots it off the right upright. It's 10-6. Falcons, Ridder going to drop back and throw is for Bijan Robinson. Instead, it goes into the arms of Hendon Hooker. So the Titans get another chance with it. Tannehill going to get taken out in the back by Calais Campbell. So, play action. Throws for Chestnut. Unfortunately, he finds Bates, who gets the pick. Falcons, a couple last chances for halftime. Teair Tart gets the sack. Man in motion for the Falcons on the very next play. Throws for Hollins. Instead, he finds Bayard, who gets the pick. Second half. Throw for DeAndre Hopkins is successful. And is it a first down? Yes, that's the good news. Here's the bad news. DeAndre Hopkins is now injured. So as a result, the Titans, well, they're going to have to go to the backfield depth, and they're going to go with Chris Moore back instead. Tannehill going to get wrapped up before he's finally taken down by Grady Jarrett. Titans would keep driving down the field, however. Tannehill carefully, patiently throws for Okonkwo. Chig Okonkwo, who gets the touchdown in the back of the end zone. So it's 17-6. Teair Tart then gets to Desmond Ridder on the next drive for the Falcons. A couple plays later, Ridder throws for Drake London, and London going to actually score to make this one 17-13. Next drive for the Titans, Tannehill gets taken down by Calais Campbell. A couple plays later, play action. Throw is for Treylon Burks to the left, and Burks wide open. No one anywhere even close, but that Falcons defense is fast. He dodges one tackle, but can't quite dodge the second. Still, pretty good first down, puts them into great position, but not if Calais Campbell stops Ryan Tannehill from really doing anything with it, so they have to rely on Nick Folk's leg yet again. Makes it 20-13. Falcons still have a chance in the fourth quarter. Ritter throws for Hollins, who's going to dive for this one for a touchdown. Ties the game up at 20. On the ensuing kick return, Jackson going to take this one deep for Tennessee. And he only had one man to beat before he was off for the races. They drive down the field, and Chestnut going to fumble the ball. Thankfully for him, recovered by Andre Dillard of the Titans. However, that means they have to rely on Nick Folk's leg again. Folk boots it in, make it 23-20. Ensuing drive for the Falcons, they're running out of time. Ritter, play action, roll to his left. He's going to run it himself. He's got the first down himself, and then some. Very next play, 1st and 10. Less than a minute and a half to go. Ritter, play action, roll to his left. This time he's going to throw for Hollins, who's at midfield. Mac Hollins gets the first down, but they're still running out of time. Less than a minute to go. Hand off to Tyler Algier. Algier going to run for the first down and break a tackle before he's finally taken down. So it's another first down. 40 seconds to go. Ritter tries to look for somebody, looks for Hollins, and Hollins, he's going to not quite score, but he gets him in the 1st and goal situation. Enough for a field goal for Younghoe Koo to tie this game up, and it is tied up at 23. We go to overtime. In overtime, Falcons gonna call for tails. Unfortunately, it is heads. This is good for the Titans, not so good for the Falcons. No team has been able to stop the team to get the ball on defense when they go into overtime. And speaking of overtime, Kearis Jackson gets real good field position for the Titans. Julius Chestnut tries to get better field position. Not quite able to with that 6-yard run. Very next play, Tannehill, play action, roll to his right. Barely gets it off in time for Chikakonkwo before he's finally stopped just outside the red zone. This is amazing field goal position for Nick Folk. If the Titans don't mess it up, this throw by Tannehill nearly gets intercepted. Unfortunately, it is only deflected. Well, fortunately for the Titans, not so much for the Falcons. And then this throw from Moore over the middle is going to get him more than close enough for Nick Folk. Easy chip shot field goal. Makes it 26-23 Titans victory. They get to maintain first place in the AFC South at 4-2 as they head to Pittsburgh next week. Atlanta drops to 4-3, still in a very tough playoff race for the NFC South. They take on Minnesota next week. Raiders have a tough game ahead of them. They take on the Lions. DeAndre Carter returns for Las Vegas. First quarter, man in motion. Garoppolo going to throw over the middle for Hunter Renfrow. Renfrow, however, going to fumble the ball. Gets picked up by Cam Sutton. Sutton breaking tackles and dodging others as much as he can before he's finally taken down into Raiders territory. Lions will drive down the field, and Goff going to throw it for Josh Reynolds to his left. Reynolds going to score for the touchdown. Makes it 7-0 Lions. Carlson going to boot this one in for the Raiders, so that way they can get on the board pretty quickly, 7-3. However, late in the first quarter, Goff going to throw to his left for Reynolds yet again for a touchdown, makes it 14-3 Lions. Ensuing Raiders drive in the second quarter. Garoppolo gets taken down by Aiden Hutchinson, last year's first overall pick. Garoppolo going to run forward before finally getting taken down by Alex Anzalone. So Lions get the ball back. Goff drops it back. Defense, though, breaks through. Divine Diablo gets the sack. Then they drive down the field. Toss for Jahmyr Gibbs, the rookie. Punches it in. 21-3 Lions. Garoppolo going to get strip sacked on the next drive for the Raiders. Alan McNeil gets the scoop and score 28-3. Next drive for the Raiders. Garoppolo in shotgun formation throws for Jacoby Myers to his right, who leaps up to dodge a tackle and catch this ball. He's going to dodge the same tackler yet again before he finally scores 28-10 Lions. He's still got some moxie in him. Raymond going to take this one on the ensuing kick return back to about the 40, 45, 50 before he's finally stopped. Next play, Goff going to try and run forward. Nearly gets sacked, but fights for more before finally getting sacked by Chandler Jones. Goff in shotgun formation a couple plays later. Going to try and run forward. This time, Nate Hobbs gets taken down. So they're forced to punt. Last couple plays for the halftime. Hand off for Josh Jacobs. Jacobs going to break some tackles. Breaks 3, 4. Can he go for 5? Not quite. Well, maybe technically. but not quite enough to get a score. In the second half, throw for Jahmyr Gibbs over the middle is a score. 35-10, Lions have the lead. However, on the Raiders' next drive, Garoppolo going to throw for Hunter Renfrow. Instead, he finds Kirby Joseph, who gets the pick. After back and forth punts, Goff going to throw for Brown. Instead, he finds Jacorian Bennett, who gets the interception. So the Raiders get another chance. And off to Josh Jacobs is a first down and more as he scores to make it 35-17. So the Raiders still got a chance. Khalif Raymond is going to take this one back pretty deep. No one going to stop until he gets to about the 34. Gibbs is going to punch it in later on in the drive, make it 42-17. 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. Garoppolo tries to run forward, but the defense waiting for him. Aiden Hutchinson gets the sack, so they're forced to punt. Fourth quarter, literal first play of the fourth quarter. Goff drops back before throwing for Amon-Ra St. Brown. If you haven't heard his name yet in this highlight reel, he's going to make this one to the 24. Very next play, Goff drops back before he's finally taken down by Divine Diablo. But they drive down the field enough for Jahmyr Gibbs to punch it in to make it 49-17. Garoppolo, well, this is basically garbage time. Throws for Jacoby Myers, and Myers going to try and play for pride. The Raiders will not go down without a fight. They're going to get into first and goal position. That'll allow Garoppolo to hand it off to Josh Jacobs, who struggles a little bit before finally getting in, 49-24. But on the Lions' next drive, Goff going to run forward before throwing for Josh Reynolds in the end zone. That makes it 56-24. This game is all but done, but the Raiders will not be stopped if they can help it. Josh Jacobs going to take this one and run it himself, breaks the tackle. Yeah, that makes it 56-31. Raiders try for the onside kick, and they actually managed to get it this time. So they get maybe a chance or two to try and score. However, Derek Barnes will not let them with that sack. Garoppolo tries for another big play. Throws to his right for Jacoby Myers. Myers, though, will not get anywhere close to scoring. Lions get the victory here, 56-31. They go to 6-1. They get a bye week next week. That is a well-deserved bye week. We're heading to LA to take on the Chargers in week 10. Raiders, they drop to 2-5 before they have to take on the winless New York Giants next week. Or are they winless? We'll find out later. We mentioned the Chargers. They were hosting the Chicago Bears this week. First quarter, Herbert going to hand it off to Austin Eckler for a 1-yard punch-in, 7-0 Chargers. On the ensuing drive for the Bears, Fields going to play action, roll to his left. He's going to throw for DJ Moore, who they acquired for the first overall pick this year and next year, who dives for the touchdown, ties the game up at 7. Eckler going to punch it in from 1 yard out again to make it 14-7 on the Chargers' next drive. On the Bears' next drive, Fields tries for play action roll to his left, but the defense waiting for him. J.C. Jackson takes him down. They're forced to punt, and Austin Eckler going to punch it in from 5 yards out, makes it 21-7. On the ensuing Bears drive in the second quarter, Fields throws to his right for Chase Claypool, dives for it, and he gets it. 21-14, Chargers still have the lead. Herbert on his next drive, going to try and run forward before getting taken down by Tremaine Edmonds, so the Chargers are forced to punt. On the ensuing drive for the Bears, Fields tries to run forward before getting taken down by Morgan Fox. A couple plays later, though, Fields going to play action roll to his left, and this time he's going to throw for Cole Kmet, who gets the touchdown, ties this game up at 21. Herbert on the next drive for the Chargers to end the half will get sacked by Tremaine Edmonds. Third quarter, throw for Cole Kmet, picked off by Derwin James Jr. Jr. going to take this one back the other way, breaks some tackles, dodges some tackles before finally getting taken down at about the 15. Gives the Chargers good field position. A few plays later, Herbert going to throw to his right for Keenan Allen, who's already in the back of the end zone, makes it 28-21 Chargers. Bears drive down the field. Cairo Santos boots it in, doinks off the right upright, but this time the doink is good for them. 28-24. Chargers still have the lead. Herbert tries to run forward before he gets taken down by TJ Edwards, so they're forced to punt. On the ensuing Bears drive, Fields play action, roll to his left. He's going to throw for DJ Moore, who is wide open, and he's going to get the first down and get into Chargers territory, into pretty decent Chargers territory too, might I add. A couple plays later, Fields in shotgun formation throws for Chase Claypool. Instead, he finds Michael Davis of the Chargers. Michael gets the pick. Let the Chargers be forced to punt. They couldn't quite do anything with it. A throw for Darnell Mooney instead gets to Davis. So, yet again, Chargers were forced to punt. Chase Claypool going to get this diving catch, and he is going to score. So that means it's 30-28, because unfortunately, this extra point doinked off the left upright. Bears would get the ball back. Fields in shotgun formation throws for Chase Claypool, who gets the touchdown. It's 37-28. No, it's 36-28 because Cairo Sanchez's extra point is blocked, but it does not matter. The Bears with the massive upset, 36-28. They improve to 2-5 and head to New Orleans next week. Chargers drop to 4-2. They get to take on the Commanders. Speaking of the Commanders, they were in a rematch of the Week 4 game against the Philadelphia Eagles, this time in Washington. First quarter, Howell going to get wrapped up, going to keep fighting to stay up. Unfortunately, Brandon Graham will not let him. He's taken down for the sack. A couple plays later, Howell going to play action roll to his left. The entire defense was swarming for him, but they missed Jahan Dotson as a result. Dotson going to take this one into Eagles territory and more as he gets into the red zone for the first down. A couple plays later, Howell play action throw over the middle. Terry McLaurin gets a touchdown, makes it 6-0 because Joey Sly's extra point doinks off the right upright. On the first drive for the Eagles, Hurts gonna run forward before throwing for his best weapon, A.J. Brown. Brown gonna take this for an easy score, makes it 7-6 Eagles. On the ensuing drive for the Commanders, play action by Howell. No, he's going to actually hand it off to Brian Robinson. Unfortunately, he fumbles it, and it gets picked up by Jalen Carter of the Eagles, who's going to get stopped short of making it a scoop and score. That's all right, though, because a couple plays later, Hurts going to throw for Quez Watkins for the touchdown. Makes it 14-6. Next drive for the Commanders. Howell going to throw to his right for Curtis Samuel, and Samuel going to dodge a tackle as he gets into Philadelphia territory, and he will take this all the way to about the 29-28. A couple plays later, Howell gets to run for his life yet again, but he throws for Jahan Dotson, who gets the touchdown this time, makes it 14-12 because, yet again, Joey Sly doinks it off the upright, this time the left upright. Eagles on their next drive, toss it to DeAndre Swift. Swift going to get the first down and more, but he fumbles the ball, and it's going to get picked up by Kendall Fuller of the Commanders. Second quarter, Howell, play action, throws over the middle for Terry McLaurin, who gets the touchdown, 19-14 Commanders. Eagles drive down the field. Hurts going to run it in himself for a 6-yard touchdown, makes it 21-19 Eagles. Next drive for the Commanders, Brian Robinson going to take this one, breaks a tackle, jukes as much as he can. He's finally going to fumble it out of bounds once he's tackled, but he fumbled. Samuel, thankfully, is still safe. Howell going to throw for Curtis Samuel to his right. Samuel wide open, no one anywhere even close to him, so the Commanders take a 26-21 lead. Next drive for the Eagles. Hurts throws to his left for A.J. Brown, who jumps up to get this one, makes it 28-26. Next drive for the Commanders. Howell, play action roll to his left. Going to throw for Jahan Dotson yet again. Dotson, wide open. He's going to take this one into the red zone and more before he's finally taken down at about the 12. That helps to set up this play by Howell. Hands it off to Brian Robinson, and Robinson's just going to run it in himself after breaking a tackle. Makes it 32-28 because, yet again, Joey Sly doinks it off the right upright. Third quarter, Hurts going to get taken down by Cody Barton. They are forced to punt. Commanders would punt it right back. Then, throw for Devonta Smith by Jalen Hurts. He is wide open. No one anywhere even close to him. Makes it a 35-32 lead for Philadelphia. Next drive for the Commanders. Howell play action throws to his right for Terry McLaurin, who is going to get this score after nearly getting it picked off or tackled, 39-35. Commanders would get to Hurts again. This time it's Jonathan Allen with the sack, so the Eagles would be forced to punt. On the ensuing Commanders drive, Howell dropping back, patient, tries to run forward, and throws for Curtis Samuel, who's going to get the first down and then some. That's the good news. Unfortunately, the bad news for the Commanders is that Samuel is now injured. So that means that they have to rely on De'Ami Brown to come in at wide receiver for him. Howell, a couple plays later, would throw to his right in the corner for Terry McLaurin. Makes it 45-35 because, yet again, Joey Sly doinks it off the upright, this time off the left upright. Jalen Hurts going to try and run forward on the next drive for the Eagles, but Jonathan Allen there to sack him. A couple plays later, he throws for A.J. Brown, and Brown not quite able to get the first down, so Commanders get the ball back, and De'Ami Brown going to score for the Commanders for a touchdown. Makes it 52-35. Hurts going to try and throw for Devonta Smith to his right, and Smith wide open. This is a close game still because the Eagles going to make it within 2 scores, making it 52-42. However, the Commanders, Howell, a play-action throw for Terry McLaurin, makes this one 59-42. But the Eagles are not done yet. They will not be stopped if they can help it. Hurts going to play-action roll to his left. Throws for A.J. Brown, who is wide open. No one able to get anywhere close to him. Makes it 59-49, and that's where this score ends. The Commanders get their revenge, and they go to 3-4. Like we said, they head to L.A. next week to take on the Chargers. Philadelphia drops to 3-4. They get an even tougher opponent next week as they host the Dallas Cowboys. The unbeaten Bengals head to California to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy makes his triumphant return. They're going to need him. First quarter, Christian McCaffrey gets a 2-yard touchdown run off a toss. Makes it 7-0 San Francisco. However, after an amazing-looking catch by Jamar Chase from Joe Burrow, he gets into pretty good field position for Cincy. That helps to set up this connection from Burrow to T. Higgins in the corner of the end zone. Ties this game up at 7. On the ensuing 49ers drive, Purdy with the play action. He's going to throw to his right for Deebo Samuel, and Samuel is going to score to make it 14-7 San Francisco. On the ensuing drive for Cincy, Burrow going to get taken down by Nick Bosa. You can't forget about him if you're playing the 49ers. On the ensuing drive for the 49ers, McCaffrey going to get handed the ball and fumbles it, is going to get picked up by Sam Hubbard, so the Bengals get another chance to tie this game up. A couple plays later, though, Burrow going to get taken down by Fred Warner. They keep diving down the field. First play of the second quarter, though, Burrow going to get taken down by Dre Greenlaw. That's all right, says Joe Burrow. I'm Joe Cool for a reason. So even though it's 2nd and 17, I'm just going to drop back before I throw for Tyler Boyd to my left, and Boyd will be there for the touchdown. And he was. Ties this game up at 14. Purdy going to get sacked on the 49ers. Next drive by Mike Hilton, but they keep driving down the field, and Purdy with the play action throws to his left for Brandon Ayuk in the corner. 21-14 San Francisco. On the ensuing Bengals drive, Javon Hargrave going to take down Burrow. Burrow would get down the field even further, and this throw that was meant to be caught by Mixon instead gets picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. 49ers would drive down the field some more, and Purdy going to throw for Christian McCaffrey over the middle after a play action, so it's 28-14. Bengals would be forced to punt, and on the ensuing punt return, Ray McLeod would be hurt. So that means for kick returns and punt returns, the 49ers would once again have to rely on Elijah Mitchell for both of those. A couple plays later, McCaffrey going to get the toss, and McCaffrey, he is going to take this one into the red zone for the 49ers. That'll help to set up Jake Moody to boot this one in to make it 31-14 going into halftime. Second half, Burrow gets swarmed by the defense. Nick Bosa gets the sack on him. A couple plays later, they drive down the field. Burrow throws to his middle right for T. Higgins, who's going to get the touchdown, 31-21. However, on the next drive, Christian McCaffrey going to punch it in from 3 yards out, 38-21. Ensuing drive for the Bengals. Burrow going to try and run forward before he's taken down by Fred Warner. He will not let him go any further. A couple plays later, Burrow going to throw for Smith, and unfortunately he finds Lenore for this one. So the 49ers get the ball back, and McCaffrey going to get this amazing-looking jumping catch. No one anywhere even close to him. Makes it 45-21. The 49ers would get the ball back, and McCaffrey going to get the run-in to make it 52-21. They're running up the score, no pun intended. Bengals, though, won't be stopped if they can help it. Jamar Chase going to take this one to the 10, and a couple plays later, Joe Mixon punches it in to make it 52-28. But the 49ers would get the ball back because of the kick return, and Brandon Ayuk going to get an easy touchdown, makes this one 59-28. Burrow going to drop back on the Bengals' next drive and throw for Jamar Chase, and Chase going to score this one to make it 59-35. They go for the onside kick, and Evan McPherson able to aim it perfectly for the Bengals to recover. So they still have a kind of a chance if they can get some miracles. T. Higgins going to try and give them that miracle, makes it 59-42. But the 49ers get the ball back, and Brandon Ayuk going to put this one away with an amazing looking catch that almost becomes a touchdown. Would have been a really deep touchdown. Christian McCaffrey says, that's all right, I can do it myself. The Bengals get upset, are no longer undefeated, 66-42. And if you hear the sound of champagne bottle being popped open, that's the sound of the 72 Dolphins, because there's no more unbeaten teams in the league. The Bengals go to 5-1 and have a tough game against the Bills next week. San Francisco improves to 5-2. They don't have much easier of a game as they head to Jacksonville. The Patriots have struggled down in Miami in recent years, but this time they want to make it different. First quarter, Tua throws for Jalen Waddle to his left. Waddle, no one anywhere even close to him. He's going to score this one and make it a 7-0 lead for the Dolphins. On the ensuing kick return, Marcus Jones going to dodge and weave and zig and zag and bob and go all the way into Dolphins territory. That'll help to set up this Ramondre Stevenson touchdown run to tie the game up at 7. Ensuing drive for the Dolphins, though, play action by Tua. He's going to throw to his right for Tyreek Hill, and Hill going to jump up to get this one. Hill, can he? Could he? Will he? No. But that's all right, because Raheem Mostert punched it in from 2 yards out. 14-7, Dolphins have the lead. Next drive for the Patriots. Zappe going to throw to Ramondre Stevenson. And Stevenson on the screen pass going to dodge and weave and juke and zoom all the way for a touchdown to tie this game up at 14. Ensuing Dolphins drive, they drive down the field in the second quarter. Tua throws to his left for Jalen Waddle. He won't be denied. 21-14 Dolphins. Ensuing Patriots drive, Bailey Zappe going to try and run forward before he's taken down by Raekwon Davis this time. So they're forced to punt. Tua in shotgun formation, looking, throws for Jalen Waddle yet again. Waddle, no one anywhere even close to him. 28-14 as no one was anywhere in his vicinity. Ensuing Patriots drive, Zappe going to throw for Juju Smith-Schuster, and Schuster going to be stopped short. And that is not good. Schuster is going to get off the field hurt. That means coming in for wide receiver, they're going to make it, oh my goodness, it's Kendrick Bourne. That's all right, because Ramondre Stevenson going to run it in for a touchdown, makes it 28-21. Dolphins still have the lead. Ensuing drive for the Dolphins, too, going to get wrapped up and taken down by Matt Judon, so they're forced to punt. Zappe, last chance they have before halftime, and he's going to get taken down by Wilkins, so that means they have to rely on Chad Ryland for the field goal. Makes it 28-24. First play of the second half, Marcus Jones with the kick return, showing why, once again, he is an amazing weapon that you can't underestimate. But Wilkins would get to Zappe, so that means the Patriots forced to punt. Tua going to get taken down by Dietrich Wise on the ensuing drive, so they're forced to punt. Ramondre Stevenson gets to run it in to make it 31-28. Patriots have the lead now. The Dolphins would punt it, but Christian Wilkins would get sacked. A couple plays later, though, Zappe going to throw to his right for Parker, who gets the touchdown, makes it 38-28. Ensuing drive for the Dolphins, this throw for Ingold, incomplete. Chad Ryland going to try and boot it in for a couple extra points, no good. So it's still a 10-point lead for the Patriots. Then Tua going to throw to his right for Tyreek Hill. Hill! Can he do it this time? The Patriots defense says no. But that's all right, because a couple plays later, Tua going to look carefully and throw for who else? Jalen Waddle. He's going to make this one a 38-35 game, but Ramondre Stevenson will not be stopped. He will not let the Patriots go down this time. He's going to score, make it 45-35. Tua going to throw for Ingold to his right, and Ingold going to get the first down and more. They still have a chance if they can get some scoring. Unfortunately, Ingold is hurt, so Alec Ingold comes out of the game. And coming in to replace him at running back is going to be Jeff Wilson Jr. So Dolphins, less than a minute to go. Tua throws for Tyreek Hill, jumps up to get into the end zone. So it's a touchdown, 45-41, because unfortunately the extra point by Jason Sanders is missed. They go for the onside kick, but unfortunately the Patriots are the ones to recover. And Ramondre Stevenson going to put this one away. No, he's going to fumble the ball. Dolphins still have a chance. But Xavier Howard gets stopped before he can do any sort of damage. The Patriots pull away with the victory, 45-41. They go to 4-3 next week. They take on the Jets in New York. Miami drops to 3-4, but there is good news. Tyreek Hill might get his revenge game next week as they head to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Now to Dallas, where the Cowboys were hosting the LA Rams this week. First quarter, Prescott going to throw to CD Lamb. He's going to get a first down and more as he gets into moderate Los Angeles territory. That sets up good field position for the Cowboys. A couple plays later, Prescott going to drop back, looks carefully, plenty of time, throws to his left for Brandon Cooks. He's already in the end zone by the time he gets the touchdown catch. It's 7-0 Cowboys to take the lead first. A couple plays into the drive for the Rams, and Micah Parsons gets Matthew Stafford from behind. They drive down the field a little more, and Stafford hooks up with Cooper Kupp. He's going to get an easy touchdown here. Ties the game up at 7, but the Cowboys will not be outdone as Prescott going to hand it off to Tony Pollard. Pollard just going to zig and zag around a little bit before he runs in for a touchdown. 14-7 Dallas. On the ensuing Rams drive, Stafford gets taken down by Micah Parsons, but they drive down the field a little more. Stafford then once again looks and throws to his left for Cooper Kupp. Kupp wide open for most of this, but he had to dive to make this catch. And then there's this. Kupp unfortunately hurt because of that play, so he's going to get taken out of the game, and instead, in comes Puka Nacua, the undrafted free agent. A couple plays later, Cam Akers going to punch it in for a touchdown, makes it a 14-all game. The Cowboys would get the ball back to the Rams on a punch second quarter. Throw for Puka Nacua is a first down and more into Dallas territory. He avoids one of the diving tackles, but gets into pretty decent range for them. However, Stafford's offensive line gets broken down by the defense. Leighton Vander Esch gets the sack. A couple plays later, Deron Bland gets the sack and pushes the Rams back into their own territory. They were forced to punt, but the Cowboys would punt right back. Stafford tries to run forward, but Micah Parsons gets another sack on him. Next play, or actually 2 plays later, Stafford tries to run forward again. This time he's strip sacked, and it's picked up by Osa Odigizua, but not made into a scoop and score. However, the Cowboys have to rely on the leg of Brandon Aubrey to make it a 17-14 lead. Third quarter, Stafford going to drop back and throw for Cam Akers. Fortunately, it's picked off by Deron Bland, who doesn't get a pick six, but could have very easily if the offense wasn't there to stop him. Ferguson going to get this touchdown catch to put the Cowboys up 24-14. On the next drive for the Rams, Stafford tries to run forward, but he's found and taken down by Osa Odigizua. But they keep driving down the field, and Stafford going to try and run forward himself, and he gets the throw off in time for Puka Nacua in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown Rams, makes it 24-21. And Cowboys next drive, Prescott hooks up with CD Lamb, best weapon that he has on offense, bar none. And Lamb going to get into the red zone of the Rams, and he's going to get into first and goal territory. Prescott in shotgun formation, going to look carefully, wait patiently, throw to his right for CD Lamb, touchdown, makes it 31-21 Cowboys. Rams drive down the field in their next drive, and the throw for Tutu Atwell is a touchdown in the fourth quarter. Then Prescott on the next drive he has in shotgun, plenty of time, throws it to CD Lamb, easy touchdown in the back of the end zone, makes it 38-28. But on the Rams' next drive, Stafford tries to run forward with it, taken down by Leighton Vander Esch from behind. They do drive down the field a little more, and a throw for Puka Nacua. He is wide open, going to get him into the red zone, into Cowboys territory, almost gets into first and goal territory for the Rams. Stafford in shotgun formation a couple plays later, looks and throws for Nacua in the back of the end zone. Touchdown Rams, makes it 38-35. Cowboys, however, will make sure the Rams never see the ball again. Tony Pollard going to take this one, and he will be short of the touchdown, but it does not matter. Cowboys come away with the victory here, 38-35. They improve to 5-1, one of the best records in the league. And next week, they head up to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Rams drop to 2-5, and next week they have to head to Green Bay to take on a very surprisingly good Green Bay Packers team. Meanwhile, out in the desert, Marquise Hollywood Brown hoping to get revenge against his old team as the Cardinals host the Ravens. Greg Dortch makes a return for Arizona. First quarter, Jackson going to play action, roll to his left, and he's going to throw for OBJ, who's already into Cardinals territory by the time he gets this catch. Dodges the tackle, but he's finally taken down at about the 26. Couple plays later, Jackson just going to run with it himself, dodges and weaves around the defenders that are chasing after him, makes it a touchdown to put the Ravens up first 7-0. Dobbs' offensive line, unfortunately unable to hold back this amazing defense by the Ravens. Roquan Smith gets the sack there. He does try to throw here. Unfortunately, Roquan Smith gets the interception here. That looked like it was intended for Zach Ertz. On the ensuing drive, for the Ravens. Jackson, play action, roll to his left, gonna throw for OBJ again. This time he's in the end zone, makes it 14-0 Baltimore. Ensuing kickoff return, Greg Dortch gonna take this one pretty decently deep for Arizona, gets to about the 38. However, a couple plays later, Dobbs gonna get sacked by Justin Madubuike. They'd be forced to punt. Lamar going to take this one himself yet again on the ensuing Ravens drive and scores yet again, 21-0 Baltimore. Ensuing drive for the Cardinals, Roquan Smith takes down Josh Dobbs in the back. And then, a couple plays later, Dobbs taken down by Michael Pierce in the back. Second quarter, Lamar going to take it for himself yet again. Almost gets taken down, finally does, and he fumbles it and is recovered by Jalen Thompson of the Cardinals. However, on the ensuing Cardinals drive, Dobbs going to get swarmed before he's finally taken down by Washington. They're forced to punt. Jackson going to run forward and take it himself yet again. And look at this specimen of a man run. He's going to make it 28-0 on his own legs. The Cardinals would get some points off a Matt Prater field goal. Going to doink off the right upright, but it is good. At 28-3, Ravens have the lead. Late in the second quarter, Jackson, play action, roll to his left, going to throw for OBJ again. He is in the Cardinals territory by the time he gets this catch, and he will get to the red zone this time. And rather than just rely on Justin Tucker's leg, they're going to rely on the arm and hands of the offense. OBJ gets another touchdown, makes it 35-3. Ensuing kickoff to start the third quarter, Greg Dortch, he just got off of the injury list, and now he is going back on it. So that means Keontae Ingram, once again, has to come in for both kick returns and punt returns for Arizona. Offensive line unable to stop this defense. Odafe Awe gets a sack on Josh Dobbs. They drive down a little more. Hand off to James Conner on fourth down in the third quarter. Doesn't really work. So it's turnover on downs. Mark Andrews gets this pretty good looking touchdown catch to make it 42-3. That defense was terrorizing Josh Dobbs all day. Roquan Smith with another sack. Cardinals forced to punt. Lamar Jackson throws for OBJ. Odell Beckham Jr. going to get another touchdown as he dodges the tackle, 49-3. Offense unable to hold back the defense yet again. Odafe Awe gets it to Josh Dobbs for a sack. The Ravens would punt later on, but this interception by Williams all but makes sure that this game is put away. Jackson going to play action and roll to his left, even though it's the third quarter. Throw from Mark Andrews makes it a 56-3 game. However, in the end of the third quarter, James Conner does get a touchdown for the Cardinals to make it 56-10. They wouldn't go without actually touching end zone grass. Fourth quarter, Lamar going to run it himself, gets into Arizona territory before finally getting taken down at the 35. A couple plays later, Jackson going to throw for Mark Andrews. Unfortunately, it's intercepted by Budda Baker, who's going to take it back the other way. Now the Cardinals just trying to play for pride, and Budda Baker, one of the most prideful people on that team, as he is going to make this a pick six if they're not careful. He will break every tackle in the way. Touchdown Cardinals on the defense makes it 56-17. The Ravens would be forced to punt to the Cardinals. James Conner going to make a rare fourth down conversion to make it first down. They'd rely on Matt Prater's leg to make it 56-20. Cardinals would get the ball back, however, and Jackson just going to add on to the score by handing off to J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins going to take it all the way to about the 26-ish, and he is unfortunately going to come out of this game hurt. So that means, once again, coming in for injury is going to be Gus Edwards, and Jackson just going to run with it himself and get yet another touchdown to end the game. Cardinals gonna get blown out in this one by the Ravens. 63-20. Baltimore wins this one. Baltimore improves to 2-5 after having a 5-game winning streak snapped. They take on Seattle next week. Arizona drops to 1-6, and they have to head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Jaguars and Steelers, former AFC Central teams, have a kind of renewed rivalry now. Jamal Agnew returns for Jacksonville. First quarter, Trevor Lawrence going to get sacked by Montrevious Adams. Very next play, Lawrence going to hand it off to Travis Etienne, who's going to get tackled from behind. It's a fumble, but it's recovered by Trevor Lawrence. Very next play after that, Lawrence going to get sacked by Elandon Roberts. This time, they'd be forced to punt. Pittsburgh drives down the field, and Pickett going to get sacked by Adam Gotsis. A couple plays later, though, hand off to Najee Harris, gets a touchdown, 7-0, Pittsburgh takes the lead. on the ensuing kickoff return for Jacksonville. Jamal Agnew going to bob and weave as much as he can, zigs and zags around the defending members of the Steelers, gets to pretty good field position. Lawrence going to get this off just in time for Calvin Ridley. Ridley, can he? Could he? Will he? He will not. Going to get stopped at the 1, unfortunately. A couple plays later, Lawrence just going to hand it off to Travis Etienne, who's going to run it in himself, tied this game up at 7. Ensuing Steelers drive. Pickett going to try and run forward. Unfortunately, the defense won't let him. Trayvon Walker gets the sack. A couple plays later, Pickett going to run forward again, and once again, he's found and taken down. It's a fumble, and this time it's recovered by Jacksonville. It's Williams who gets this one. That is Darius Williams, and he's going to take this all the way to the end zone for a touchdown, 14-7 Jaguars. Ensuing Steelers drive. Second quarter, Pickett going to throw for Deontay Johnson. Johnson leaps up to get this one. He's going to get into the red zone, into first and goal territory, finally taken down at the 4. A couple plays later, Pickett going to hand it off to Najee Harris, who runs it in for a touchdown, ties this game up at 14. And so in Jaguars drive, Lawrence looking carefully, throws to his right for Calvin Ridley. Ridley going to take this one all the way to about the 6-ish, maybe. Yep, that's a first and goal position, though, for the Jaguars. A couple plays later, handoff to Travis Etienne. Gonna run it in. 21-14 Jaguars after some dodging and weaving. The Steelers would punt the ball, and Brandon McManus, they're going to have to rely on his leg. He gets it good, 24-14. Not to be outdone, Chris Boswell goes for the field goal, and unfortunately it is short, so it's still a 10-point lead for the Jaguars, who will get another field goal off of Brandon McManus, 27-14. Third quarter, Pickett drops back, looks carefully, patiently, throws for Deontay Johnson, who's already in deep Jacksonville territory by the time he gets this catch, and he is going to take this into first and goal territory for Pittsburgh. Gives them some pretty good field position. Pickett going to hand it off for Najee Harris to punch it in for a touchdown, makes it 27-21. Jaguars would be forced to punt, and Pickett going to hook up with Deontay Johnson yet again. This time, he will not be stopped. It's a 28-27 lead for the Steelers. Jaguars would punt yet again, and Pickett, all the time in the world, throws for Deontay Johnson, barely in time as the defense was starting to break through, but Johnson does not care. He will score anyway. 35-27, Steelers have the lead. Jaguars get the ball back, end of the third quarter. Lawrence patiently looks carefully, throws for Calvin Ridley to his right. Ridley almost in the red zone by the time he gets it. No one anywhere even close as he scores this one. Makes it 35-34. Fourth quarter, Najee Harris going to get the toss, and he is going to take this one to about the 29 before he fumbles it out of bounds. So a couple plays later, Najee Harris going to redeem that fumble by punching it in to make it 41-34 because unfortunately Chris Boswell's extra point kick is blocked. The Jaguars would drive down the field. Lawrence going to hand it off for Travis Etienne, who's going to punch it in. Makes it a 41-41 game. Steelers have a chance to take the lead here, but Josh Allen, not the quarterback, takes the sack on Kenny Pickett. A couple plays later, Adam Gotsis gets the sack on him. So it's fourth down. Pickett in shotgun formation. This might be the last chance to take the lead if they can get it. Throw for Deontay Johnson. Johnson into Jaguars territory. Gets into the red zone barely for the first down. So the Steelers could still win this game easily. Pickett going to play action roll to his left. Throws for Deontay Johnson. He's in for a touchdown. 48-41. Jaguars don't have much time. Hand off to Travis Etienne. Doesn't get too far. Very last play of the game. Lawrence in shotgun formation. He needs a big play here. He's going to throw for Christian Kirk, and he overthrows him. Pittsburgh comes away with the victory here, 48-41, by the skin of their teeth. They improve to 4-2, and they take on the Jaguars' rival Tennessee next week for our Week 9 Game of the Week here on SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network. Jacksonville, meanwhile, drops to 2-4, and they get to take on the Houston Texans in what was supposed to be a Week 3 game that's now going to be in Week 9. Onward to the Battle of New York as the Jets take on the Giants. Randall Cobb makes a return for the Jets. First quarter, Tyrod Taylor tries to run forward, but Al Wood's there to take him down. They'd be forced to punt on the first drive for the Jets in the game. Rodgers throws for Adam Lazard, who is wide open. No one on the Giants anywhere even close to him. Touchdown Jets. They take the lead to start 7-0. Ensuing drive for the Giants. Barkley taken down in the backfield, and this is a sight Giants fans probably used to, but still hate seeing. Saquon Barkley is hurt. So that means Brendan Breida going to come in at running back. They'd be forced to punt, and Dalvin Cook going to punch it in for himself. 14-0 Jets. And so in Giants drive, Taylor's attempted throw intercepted by Jordan Whitehead. So already going to get into the red zone for the Jets, and that helps to set up a Dalvin Cook punch-in. Makes it 21-0 Jets. And so in Giants drive, Taylor tries to run forward. Al Woods takes him down. A couple plays later, Taylor tries to get this one off for what he assumed was probably Darren Waller. Instead, he finds Jordan Whitehead, the Jet. Rodgers going to try and run forward on the Jets' next drive. Fortunately, he's going to fumble it, and it's going to get picked up by Adoree Jackson of the Giants, who barely gets into Jets territory. But they'd be forced to punt, and Greg Zuerlein at the end of the half going to kick this field goal, 24-0. But to really end the half, a safety by the Jets makes it 26-0 as they go into the halftime with a massive lead. Third quarter, throw for Bryce Hall. It's a touchdown. Jets have a 33-0 lead. Giants would drive down the field, but Taylor going to get wrapped up before he's finally taken down by Quinnen Williams. A couple plays later, Taylor in shotgun formation, going to look for Paris Campbell. Campbell going to get the touchdown, makes it 33-7. Ensuing kick return for the Jets, Bryce Hall going to take this one pretty dang deep for a kick return, and it's Bryce Hall who's going to get into Giants territory. That'll help to set up Rodgers trying to get a good throw here. Unfortunately, it's going to get taken down by Bobby Okereke. But a couple plays later, Rodgers, patient, looks and throws for Lazard, who's in the end zone. Touchdown, makes it 40-7. Ensuing Giants drive, Gary Brightwell is going to take this one. Unfortunately, he is going to be hurt. Not something you want to see, getting your team banged up when you're already struggling. So that means that it is Eric Gray, the rookie, who has to come in. The Giants will be forced to punt, and Leonard Williams is going to get the sack on the Jets. Rodgers, however, a couple plays later, throws for Adam Lazard, who gets the touchdown, 47-7. Jets have the lead. And so in Giants drive, Taylor gets taken out in the back by Quinnen Williams. 4th and 20 in the fourth quarter. Taylor tries for the play action. Unfortunately, Quinnen Williams gets the turnover on downs off a sack. And Rodgers going to get sacked himself by Leonard Williams. Sends him back a little bit. They're just going to go for the field goal just to really add injury to the Giants' day and season. Greg Zuerlein's kick on the way, and it's good. Makes it 50-7. Ensuing Giants drive, Taylor going to throw over the middle, and it is picked off, this time by Sauce Gardner, who's going to make it a pick six, 57-7 Jets. Taylor tries for the play action, going to look and throw for Brendan Breida. Unfortunately, it's picked off once again by Sauce Gardner. The Jets going to come away with a massive victory here with yet another pick six. It's going to make it 64-7. Jets, a big lead here. They go to 3-3, and they take on New England in what was supposed to be their Week 3 game that has been rescheduled. The Giants still winless. They drop to 0-7, and next week they head out to the desert in Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. After a brutal loss to the division rival Chargers last week, the Chiefs hoping to beat up division rival Denver for the 17th game in a row. First quarter, Javonte Williams is going to get tossed this ball, and he's going to take this one and fumble it almost directly into the hands of Willie Gay. First drive for the Chiefs, however, Mahomes going to hand it off to Isaiah Pacheco, who's going to make a 24-yard touchdown run all by himself, 7-0. Chiefs get on the board first. Ensuing Broncos drive, Wilson throws to his right. Don't know who he was looking for, but he finds Brian Cook. I think he was trying to throw for Cortland Sutton, but he does throw a touchdown. It's just going back the other way. So it's 14-0 Kansas City. Third, in the second quarter, after a Broncos punt the Chiefs, Harrison Butker kicks it in for an extra point, 17-0 Kansas City. But Javonte Williams will get redemption for his fumble by getting a touchdown, 17-7. Ensuing drive for the Chiefs, Mahomes, play action roll to his left. You know he's looking for in this scenario. Kadarius Toney. Toney going to take this one into Denver territory by a modest amount before getting taken down at the 24. Chiefs would drive a couple more yards down the field before Mahomes going to do it again. Play action roll to his left, throw for Kadarius Toney for the touchdown, makes it 24-7. Ensuing Broncos drive, Wilson, play action, throws over the middle for Cortland Sutton, who does get it this time. Unfortunately, He fumbles the ball, and Nick Bolton will get it after it bounces around a little and take it to about midfield. A couple plays later, Mahomes, play action, roll to his left, but he's not going to throw it this time. He's going to take it himself for a touchdown run, 31-7, Kansas City. Ensuing drive for the Broncos to start the second half. Wilson throws, and it's intercepted by Trent McDuffie. So the Chiefs drive down the field, and Mahomes going to throw over the middle for Travis Kelce. It's a touchdown, 38-7. Wilson going to run forward to try and get some better throwing, to get a better look at a throw. Jalen Watson will take him down, however. Then Mahomes, play action, roll to his left, throw for Kadarius Toney. Toney going to take this one into the red zone and first and goal territory for Kansas City. Literally the next play, Mahomes gonna play action, roll to his left, but he doesn't throw for Toney. He throws for Sky Moore, who's right in front of him, makes it 45-7. Fourth quarter, Broncos need some help. Wilson throws to his left for Jerry Jeudy, who dives for this one. He's in the red zone. Can he score? No, but he will make it first and goal. That'll help to set up Wilson. Just gonna throw to his right for Johnson. It's a touchdown, 45-13, because unfortunately, Will Lutz, his kick is blocked. Ensuing Chiefs drive, Mahomes on a 3rd and 4 situation, gonna play action roll to his left, runs for his life a little bit, and throws for Kadarius Toney, who gets into the red zone, dodges one tackle, and gets into first and goal situation for the Chiefs. However, they can't quite do enough with it, so Harrison Butker has to come out on the field to make it 48-13. Broncos in garbage time. They already know this game is over. Wilson going to throw for Javonte Williams, and Williams going to run it in himself. 48-20. Chiefs still have the lead. Mahomes going to play action roll to his left. Defense ready for him, and Randy Gregory takes him down, but it does not matter. It's too little too late as the Chiefs come away with the victory, 48-20. They improve to 5-2 and get back on top in the AFC West. They host Miami next week. Denver drops to 2-5. They get a bye week next week before they have to head to one of the most treacherous stadiums in the league. They head up to Buffalo to take on the Bills. And speaking of the Bills, this brings us to our final game of the night as they host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield and Devin Tompkins both return for Tampa Bay. First quarter, first drive, Mayfield patiently waiting, throws just in time for Cade Otton, who's going to jump up to take this one into pretty decent looking Buffalo territory in the red zone, actually. They can't quite do anything with it, so they have to rely on McLaughlin's leg. He doinks it off the left upright, though, so we have no score. Bills would drive down the field on their first drive, and Allen's just going to run it himself. Touchdown, Buffalo makes it 7-0. Ensuing Buccaneers drive, Mayfield in shotgun formation. Going to try and run forward himself. Fortunately, he's going to get wrapped up before he's finally taken down by Ed Oliver. They'd be forced to punt. 3rd and 7 situation for Buffalo in Tampa Bay territory. Allen going to run for his life before throwing for Dawson Knox. Gets the touchdown, 14-0 Buffalo. 13-0. Tyler Bass's extra point blocked. So, Buccaneers get the ball with a 2-score lead still. Throw for Chris Godwin is going to be on target. Makes it 13-7 Buffalo. On the ensuing Bills drive in the second quarter, Allen play action. Unfortunately, defense was ready for him as he rolled to the right. Joe Tryon gets the sack. They'd be forced to punt. Mayfield, however, will get sacked by Ed Oliver. Sends him back. They'd be forced to punt. 1st and 10 situation for Buffalo in their own shallow territory. Allen going to roll to his right and throw for Stephon Diggs, who is wide open. Only one man to beat. Not quite able to beat him, but it's going to set up good field position for the Bills. A couple plays later, Allen, patient, throws over the middle for Dalton Kincaid, who gets the touchdown, makes it 20-7. Then on the Buccaneers drive, Mayfield gonna throw for Chris Godwin to his right. Godwin in Buffalo territory on this deep pass. He's gonna have one man to beat to try and score. Not quite able to, but he gets him into good field position for a run-in by Rachaad White. Makes it 20-14. Ensuing Bills drive. Allen gonna get swarmed by the defense. Devin White gets the sack. They try to rely on Tyler Bass's leg, but this is a pretty long one, and it falls short at the end of the half. Bills get the ball on their in the first and the second half. Allen going to get taken down by Joe Tryon and a play action roll to the right. They drive down the field a little more, and Allen going to try and run forward, but the defense waiting for him, Levante David. So, 3rd and 14 situation. Allen, play action, roll to his right. He's going to throw for Dawson Knox, and it's going to be a touchdown, 27-14. Ensuing Buccaneers drive, their first one of the second half. Throw for Mike Evans is going to be complete. There is no one anywhere close to him, but the Bills defense tries to rush up to him, and they get him. Makes him have to get taken down at the 6. So Mayfield patiently waiting, throws for Evans again, but he finds Tre'Davious White. Unfortunately, that's not the right person he wanted to find. Bills' next drive off of that interception, Stephon Diggs just going to take it himself. 34-14, Buffalo has a big lead. 4th down situation in the 4th quarter. Mayfield looks and throws for what, I don't know, and gets deflected. It looked like that was going to go for O'Keefe. So the Bills, a couple plays later, Josh Allen tries to run forward. Levante David takes him down before he can go too far. They do drive down the field, however, and Allen, on a 1st and goal situation, throws for, I guess that was supposed to be for James Cook. Unfortunately, it's picked off. Buccaneers would try to do something, anything, but Mayfield can get wrapped up and taken down by Ed Oliver. They do drive down the field a little bit more. Desperation mode. Gonna throw for Mike Evans to the left side for the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay makes it 34-21. Tyler Bass gonna kick this field goal, though, to really put this away. Doinks off the right upright, 37-21. Garbage time for Baker Mayfield. He's gonna get sacked by Ed Oliver. Not a very good look. So 4th and 11, they're just going to go for it with 46 seconds left, and Mayfield going to throw for Rachaad White, but he is stopped short. The Bills, with a dominating and decisive victory here, win 37-21. They take on Cincinnati next week, and what they're hoping to be what's going to be a big game. Tampa Bay, they drop to 2-5. They get a bye week next week before they take on Tennessee in Week 10. Buffalo improves to 6-1 to have a definitive lead in the AFC East. And speaking of the leads in the AFC and NFC, that brings us to our look at the standings. Starting, of course, with the AFC East. The Bills have a decisive lead, like I said, at 6-1, but only 2 games behind them are the Patriots at 4-3. New York still kind of behind them in a close one. They're at 3-3 in Miami. They're trailing behind, but not by too much, 3-4. Moving on to the AFC North, with the Bengals having their first loss. It's the Browns who claim first place in a tie, at least. They are at 5-1, as are the Bengals, but the Steelers right behind them by a game at 4-2. Baltimore all the way back in the basement at 2-5. In the AFC South, Tennessee does have a 2-game lead over the Jaguars and Texans, but in this division, that could very easily be swayed. Colts bringing up the rear at 2-5. In the AFC West, the Chiefs have once again reclaimed leadership of the AFC West. They take a lead at 5-2, but they're only a half game ahead of the Chargers, who are at 4-2. And trailing behind both of these teams, way in the back, are the Raiders and Broncos at 2-5. Moving on to the NFC. In the East, the Cowboys have a pretty big lead over the Eagles and Commanders, who are tied at 3-4 for second place. All the way back down in the basement of the league are the New York Giants at 0-7. In the NFC North, the Lions have the lead at 6-1, but it's only by a half game ahead of the Green Bay Packers, who are at 5-1. Minnesota at 4-3. They have some work to do if they want to try and catch up. And the Bears down in the basement at 2-5. In the NFC South, the Panthers do have essentially a decisive lead at 5-1. They are only a game and a half ahead of the Atlanta Falcons, who are at 4-3. The Buccaneers are back at 2-5 for third place, but at least they're not the Saints, who are currently at 1-6. And finally, the NFC West, the 49ers, with a stunning victory over the Bengals, have the lead in the NFC West at 5-2. The Seahawks, about 2 games back, about a game and a half back actually. They are at 3-3. The Rams still trail behind them by a game and a half at 2-5, and bringing up the rear are the Cardinals at 1-6. And that will do it for us here at SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network. Remember to tune in November 5th for our Week 9 Game of the Week between the Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and join us on November 7th for Tecmo Rewind for Week 9. For all of us here at SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network, I'm your host, Joe, saying good night, everybody.